Good evening. Tonight, we delve into the grim realities of the human condition, exploring cases where darkness and evil intersect. This is Grinding True Crime. These are the stories of cold-blooded murders, heinous acts that have left families shattered and communities in shock. Join us as we uncover the grisly details and search for justice in the shadows. This is Grinding True Crime.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of the Grinding True Crime Podcast with your host, Maddie Matt, along with our co-host,
Randy Oz.
and narrating for today will be
Todd Fox.
You already know, but before we get into that, we got to let you guys know where you can find us. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Just type in Grinding True Crime. Follow our page, like our page, subscribe to our page, share our page with others so the algorithm can go smooth for us and we can get more likes from you guys and more content. If you like what you want to hear, if you like what you hear and you want to listen to us on your podcast stream, just go to Spotify, Anchor, iTunes, Pandora, Podvine, and Zencaster. And for those outside of the U.S., continue to listen to us on Radio Public, Breaker, Pocket Cast, and Podchaser. If you want to become a Patreon member, all you have to do is download the Podbean app, and there you can click the link to become a Patreon member. Okay? Also, listeners' discretion is advised. Todd does go into stories that has a lot of details, and it could be not suitable for certain audience, so listener discretion is advised. And also a reminder, we will be going live again. We went live last week, or not last week, a couple weeks ago, and it went really well. So we're going to try to keep that up at least once a month, either the end of the month. We might even surprise you guys and be live in the middle of the month. Really depending on our schedule, but be advised, we will be definitely going live once a month again. All right. With all that being said, I'm out of breath. I had to run real fast. But Todd Fox, I'm going to turn the story over to you, sir. Break down your story, and you got our listening ears.
Thank you so much there, Maddie, Matt, and Randy. Thank you for joining us on this night as we approach Christmas and the end of the year. It can be 2025. So with that being said, everybody, buckle in, as I don't know if many of you have been following the news, but this is a case that just went final. So if you're a sports fan and you know that term of just going final, the scoreboard, it's up there, it's game over, you know the details, you got the box score. That's what's going on in this case.
Lights out, party's over.
Yeah, this
the butter's getting hard and the jello's jiggling.
Yes, sir, Chick Hearn. But this story just wrapped up, and it's very polarizing because, guys, this case ruffled feathers. It went political, and you know it was mainstream as mainstream can be. And we're going to talk about the case of Laken Riley. So Laken Riley, yeah, and this is it's got, you know, just like how the political scene as the election just finished as well. Both candidates, including President Biden currently, came out there and expressed their remorse or said their two pieces or gave their 2 cents on the story. And, you know, people picked and choose which way they wanted to use it. And as we'll get into, the family had to put up with a lot of stuff because they were being torn, because they want their daughter's story told, but they don't want it for political gain, you know, on either side. But that's particularly what happened in this one. So this is going to get one for, I guess, you know, it's going to be very opinionated, I hope, so you guys can give me your takes, and hopefully the audience in the comments can let me know and you know and Randy know exactly what they think about the case, because there's a lot to dive into here as we get started.
Okay.
So with that being said, this is going to we're going to start on the East Coast because this is where it went with Laken Riley. And like I said, if you haven't heard, if you haven't checked social media, I don't know how you missed it, but this is one that popped up just about everywhere, especially if you're a true crime fan. So let's talk about Laken Riley. and how she became such a polarizing figure on all sides of the, what Democratic.
Laken Riley or Lincoln Riley?
Lincoln Riley, but it's actually spelled Laken, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. It's Laken Riley. And she was born January 10th, 2002. Does that make you guys feel old?
2002. I was in middle school.
That's the year I graduated.
Yes, there you go.
Man.
So she was born in Marietta, Georgia. And guys, if you ever seen, like whether you're a sports fan or not, the girls on the East Coast or in the Southeastern Conference of colleges, they're pretty. There's a certain subtlety to them. No matter the race, they're just pretty down there. So she's another pretty young girl down there in Georgia, and
Maybe call them Southern Belles.
There you go, very much so.
Southern Belles.
And she fit the breed. She had 3 other siblings. She was born to Jason Riley, her father, and Allison Phillips. Her parents were divorced at the time before she got to college, and so she was very young. The family kind of split, but they stayed in the Georgia area. She was a proud attendant of River Ridge High School in Woodstock, Georgia, where she graduated in 2020. The year of COVID, everyone's favorite year. So, depending on what you guys think about that year and what happened and transpired, obviously, I mean, do you guys know of anybody who graduated that year, or someone that passed that year, or someone that got married that year?
2020. Graduation, yes. I mean, I work for the school district, so the graduation was very difficult for the kids, man. They hated it, and I hated it for them. Them drive-through diplomas and drive-through graduation. It's like, yeah, this ain't it.
You know what's crazy? I don't remember 2020
Really?
at all.
You were that high?
No, nothing. It's like I can remember parts of 2021 just because of certain things that happened. But dude, when it comes down to the actual COVID year, yeah, dude, I mean, it was so bland, and I don't fucking remember. Sorry, I don't remember nothing. Like literally nothing. Like I can't remember anything that I did in 2020. I don't know if I met anybody in 2020. I know I wasn't podcasting in 2020.
That's for sure.
I know I didn't know you guys quite yet in 2020.
Yeah.
But that's all I do. That's all I do know.
I think that's when me and Todd decided to start doing their true crime. Or was it 2022?
No, it was before that. It was a little before that, I believe.
Wow.
Because I know we were for sure doing crimes.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it was after.
Yeah.
Yeah, we stopped our show because
of that. And then
Wow.
Yeah. So. Yeah, not very good times.
No.
Because I do know of a couple people that died alone in hospital beds because they weren't able to see their loved ones. So that kind of sucked. That always pisses me off.
Yeah.
But she was your typical. Getting back to the story. Sorry, I took you guys off. I have bad memories of COVID. So she was like the all-American girl. She was a girl next door, but she was very Christian, and she went to Sunday mass or service every week. She did Bible camps. In 2019, she made a trip down to Honduras, where she was a missionary preaching to kids, helping them out in schools as well. So this is a girl with a very, very giving, loving spirit and a personal relationship, according to her dad and siblings, with God, who she prayed about everything. And she would pray multiple times a day. So, and again, in that SEC kind of area down there in the Cotton Belt, the Southern Belt type of girl in that area, it's called the Bible Belt too. I mean, there's churches everywhere. So people are very religious in the southern part of eastern part of America. So she fit right in right there. So she was said to say that she wouldn't do anything without praying about it. Like that was like her thing to make decisions.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that at all. So we're just bringing that up as far as that's her background. So she's as straight edge as can be. She also was attending the University of Georgia, which the Georgia Bulldogs are really good in football. You know, they're a big college, very prestigious, been around forever. She actually gets into a dorm with three of her friends from high school. But as they are going to the Georgia, I guess, school or their classes for nursing, she decides to go to Athens, Georgia, or an Augusta medical program, which is a little off of campus. It's a different nursing school to become, pediatrician. She wants to work with kids. So she decides to do that, and it's more prestigious. It's going to help her get to where. So she actually leaves a huge college to go to a small one because that one specifically goes where she wants to go. She's a very fit person as well. She takes her phone and Fitbit, or not Fitbit, but her Apple phone, and she goes out 3 times a week jogging. And so she's in good shape. She's, always doing something. She's never you'll never catch her on the couch just watching a rerun of something or Netflix. She's always busy. Okay. So far, so good. She's doing everything she should. She's getting further in class. Her friends, she's popular. Her family loves her. She's active in the community, active at her church. Everything is good until February 22nd, 2024.
You got a date.
So this is less than a year ago, guys. And it's 9:03 in the morning. Lincoln is seen by their doorbell camera at their shared house on the Georgia campus, setting her watch to the time that her Apple Watch to the time, and to I guess to start her jogging. It, those Apple Watches, they pretty much can read your pulse, your heart rate, how many calories, your distance, all that stuff. It's got crazy stuff. So
technology is going nuts, crazy.
Absolutely. So she begins to head out, and it's a early morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, and she's leaving the house that they share on campus with her roommates, but her roommates have already gone to class, so she's not in the area. They're not in the area, so she's the last one to leave the house.
Gotcha.
She starts to head for a wooded area, which is going to cross. It's a huge park there on the campus of Georgia, and they've got it's pretty much there's no leaves on the trees. There's no snow yet. It's just kind of chilly, and you got a lot of dorm apartments along the way. You've got a bus stop that takes kids to the college. You've got a big lake.
Sounds like Campus Point here in Fresno for Fresno State.
yeah, pretty much. It is a beautiful area, So she usually would jog with one of her roommates, but her roommate was in class and Lincoln had the day off, so she's by herself. Sometimes she would go with her mom even, but this time she opted to go on her own. And so she takes off and she crosses a couple baseball fields. She gets on camera for the first time, as there was a camera overlooking the trail, which, is cement at this point that, a lot of people are walking past her. A lot of people are, jogging as well, the opposite way. And it seems like a good little morning. So at 9:06, just 3 minutes into her jog, she passes this bus stop that I was talking about, and on the left side of the bus stop there's a huge campus dorm for like a two-story or 2 to 3 story dorm room of apartments. And she passes that, and then you see her jog about another minute or so passed, and it's about 9:06, and there's this little cutoff to the left, which turns into like a little backside through the woods. So it takes you off a trail that is cement, that is wide open. The trees are on both sides, and you could drive a couple buses down it. It's, with good visibility. But she takes this off road, which is a different trail, which she's done before, but she goes into that trail, and she's seen with her AirPods on and jogging and listening, and she passes a couple, and after that, you don't see her no more. She's off of camera. She's on the dirt path. So what happens is she goes missing. And there is but before she goes missing, her smartwatch just minutes later sends an SOS, and it automatically calls 911. And guys, I have the audio right here so you guys can listen to this and see what you guys think of this.
This is Clark County 911.
If it's playing here.
Hello, Clark County 911.
Can you guys hear it?
Yeah.
Can anyone hear me? Clark County 911.
Yo Tango.
Okay, so what do you guys think about that?
Bro.
Yo.
What was all that pounding at the end?
Keep that in mind, by the way. Keep that in mind.
That sounds like someone getting beat in.
To me, it almost sounded like muffled gunshot.
Yeah, it sounded like someone had someone was hitting something. But also too, it sounded like you can hear like muffled like struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she clearly couldn't speak though.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Oh, dude.
So, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that's crazy, and also technology, man. Like for the watch to call 911, like that's.
Bro, I wasn't expecting to drop some audio on us like that, dude. That's crazy.
We moving up.
Yeah. Well, on that one, the thing is, she activated it, so she was able to activate her phone and the SOS function. And
I wonder, does it go off like a heart rate or something?
That will play a part into it too. That it does read that as well, so it will set off an alert or whatever. So
nuts.
Yeah. So the 911 operator would call back several times, and they would not get an answer. So there was a couple concerns because as the day went on for a couple hours, there was, in between that time, people were like, hey, Lincoln is very punctual. She hasn't shown up, and, her sister starts texting her. People are texting her. Her friend gets a message, and there's nothing. So the roommates start connecting with each other, and they're like, hey, what's going on? And they're able to, because they're on their friends thing, they're able to track her phone to that wooded area. And so at 11 o'clock, they're still not, responding. They're figuring at the same time, AT&T was one of the only cell phone towers and cell phone services that wasn't messing up in Georgia at the exact same time. Because when they had called the police, they were like, hey, we can't get a hold of our friend. They're like, well, hey, Verizon's having problems. There's other cell companies that are having problems with the towers. And they're like, well, AT&T is not and she's got AT&T, so there's something going on. It's not like her. So again, they tracked it right there, and it was showed up on their phone as in that wooded area. So Sophia and her friend Lily, one of the roommates and her friend, are seen on camera a little before 11:30 with their dog walking into the forest area, that same trail, because they're tracking the phone.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't exactly see the phone right away, but the dog picked up something because they gave the dog like her scent of her something from the apartment. And right away, the dog goes over and finds AirPods.
I was gonna say it's probably one of those AirPods.
Yeah, they're on the ground.
That'd be the first easiest thing to lose.
Wow.
Yeah. So right away, they call the police, and it's the Georgia campus police, and they send a couple officers over, and they said, hey, you know what? We can't find our friend. We think something may have happened to her. Maybe she fell. But these are her AirPods. We found them. The dog went right to them. So they explain everything. And they're like, okay, we'll take a look. So Sergeant Kenneth Maxwell of the University of Georgia Police Department responded to the call, came down there where it was pinged, put the screenshot on his phone. And if you look at the body cam, it shows you pretty much everything. He starts walking into the, because by this time now, by the time the police get there, they talk to the two girls, it's just after 12:15. So it's 30 minutes later when everybody sets in. On his audio, and I was going to play the audio, but I figured not. It's maybe distressing to some people. The officer takes it really tough, and it's really tough to listen to. They blur out things too on the video. But basically 20 minutes later, it's 12:34, and he starts freaking out. He's like, oh my God, I think we found her. And he goes, oh, hun. And he's like treating her like it's his daughter. And like he's very emotional. And he's yelling at the other officer to come over and help him out with CPR. It looks really bad. And, so they had paramedics there right away. They're trying to revive her. And they take her to the hospital, but she's DOA. She's dead on arrival.
That's crazy.
She suffered severe blunt force trauma to the head. The left side of her skull was crushed in.
Damn, that's what that pounding probably was.
That's what the pounding we heard.
You guys are exactly right. They found two bloody rocks next to the body, and it looked like a very violent struggle, like she fought for her life. And they could tell that she had some DNA via skin under her fingernails. And it looked like she was being choked out as well. And her pants were down, so she was fighting off a rape. And they were right then and there, this was over the Georgia College Police Department and the local police department. So they called in the Georgia State FBI basically to come in. She had massive head wounds because of the rock. I mean,
dang.
See, that's why I can't be going.
So you're telling me that pounding sound we heard was the rock on her skull?
Correct.
Oh man, dude.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, this was 60.
And those were some solid.
That was some. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Hey.
That wasn't rock versus rock.
That was rock and skull. So you're hearing crack.
Yeah.
And it had to have been loud because her AirPods were on the ground, right? So like.
That's her smartwatch picking up the volume.
Oh, that's her smart. Oh yeah, you're right. Your smartwatch.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
So she was being muffled, obviously, either that or she was incapacitated and he was already finishing her off when the call was made.
Yeah, there's no way you're going to speak in that kind of head trauma.
Exactly. So she was only 60 feet off of the trail.
Damn.
So
Freak.
See, that's why I'm an advocate. Like when you venture off into the woods, off the beaten path, as they
You
say,
go by
like,
yourself.
don't go by yourself. I don't care if you're a man, woman. I don't care how experienced you are. You never know what's going to happen. You never know what's lurking out there. Always have the buddy system's crucial in those areas, man.
I agree with you 100%, Randy.
and here's the thing that sucks about it too. Okay, so with her head being bashed in, guys.
All right.
9:06 when she goes off the camera. Her heartbeat on the Apple Watch phone ceases at 9:17 a.m. So what they're surmising is the phone call to 911 came a couple minutes before that. So she was alive for a couple minutes after that. So her body was still functioning in some sort of capacity, or her heart was beating on, for a couple more minutes at least after that phone call.
I bet she was in pain, bro.
Yeah.
Man, that's bad, dude. Them thuds were loud.
Oh yeah. So this case would again go fast real quick. It went to the Georgia State Bureau of Investigation, which is basically the FBI of Georgia, and they didn't take this case lightly. Obviously, plus it's on a huge campus. It's middle of the morning. What the hell, So they have helicopters out. They have dogs. They brought in agents. They're like, hey, interview anyone suspicious. We're gonna go into dumpsters. We're gonna freaking just anything, right? So they start canvassing everything. There's a lot of video to go through too. So they set up a team to start, watching the video and trying to see where she came from and what kind of videos we can pull on. So they're going into the entire day trying to get stuff, and they're trying to compile things and find things. And it's the next morning or later that evening, I'm sorry, they have an officer who it's on body cam too. He goes into this like recyclable trash bin, and he finds a sweater. It's a black sweater, and it's got like brown hairs all over it, like long brown strands of hair mixed up with blood. And they're like, man, dude, this is something right here. Mm-hmm. So they wrap that up. They get that, and there's an apartment right there with an alleyway, and they're like, okay, there's a camera on that apartment facing that dumpster. Like, what kind of luck do we have here? This is really cool. So they're looking at the video, and they can go back from just about 20 minutes after the incident, and there's a male subject, and he like pulls off his hat, and it's an Adidas hat, a black Adidas hat, and then he takes off the sweater, and then he kind of crumbles it up. He looks at his hat, puts the hat back on, and throws the sweater in the trash, and then he walks over to these little bushes, and he takes these black gloves off and throws them in the bushes. So then the cops are like, oh, go over to those freaking bushes. We didn't even look over there. Sure enough, they walk over there like within minutes of watching that video, and the gloves are still there, bloody as hell.
Wow.
Yeah. So, they go over there, and they're like, these aren't even like those black gloves you would wear to keep your hands warm. They were like the kind that you prepare food with, the black.
Oh yeah, latex.
The latex one. Yeah. Just they're the food prep ones.
Mm-hmm.
So like, okay, that's interesting. So let's take that out and let's get that examined. Let's see if it matches up with the blood of Laken Riley. And they're going to put a real fast forward on the DNA testing, because they're like, this is a high profile case. So it's barely the next day, man. And then the stuff has already gone off for DNA testing. It's 8:30 in the morning. They're still canvassing around the area. And one of the cops happens to be next to that apartment, which is facing that trash bin. Mm-hmm. And he sees a guy just sitting on, he comes out to his car, and then he sits down on a chair just outside the apartment, and he's got an Adidas hat on with a red sweater. They're like, what the hell? Like, hell, wait, what? Didn't we just see that? And they walk over to the guy, and it's Diego Ibarra, a Venezuelan national. who came over the border in 2022 from El Paso, Texas. And he presented the police with a fake green card. So right away, they're like, well, you may or may not be the killer, but either way, we're detaining you because you just broke the law. So they're talking with him, and they have him on body cam, and he's outside the house, and he's kind of like, yeah, you know, like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then they're like, who else is in that apartment with you? And then they knock on the door, and another male comes out, which is his brother, and then a female comes out, and then there's another man who comes out, and he's kind of groggy, kind of big. He comes out and he sits down, and they're just like, okay, we're gonna have to talk to all four of you. And so they realize that, you know, they barely have any kind of furniture. They're kind of, you know, they're doing oddball cooking jobs in the area at restaurants. And they're interviewing the other two, and they come out, and one of the brothers is Jose Ibarra. And he's 26 years old. He's wearing a red shirt. And on the body cam, one of the detectives finally gets there, and he's like, hey, bro, what's all that scratching on your neck? You know, what's that on your arms? He's like, oh, that's, you know, that's, I cook, you know, like you get knife marks, you get this, you get that. And yeah, and they're like, those look pretty fresh. And he was like, I don't know, you know, talking Spanish, so they have an interpreter. It's like, I don't know what you mean, man. He goes, I don't see nothing. And he, clear as day, can see marks up and down dude's wrist and on his arm.
I worked in a kitchen for 3 years. I never got scratches on my neck. It's on my hands. Maybe got some burned, spilled marks on my arms, but you know, I never cut my arm or anything.
I ain't never cut my neck cooking. I'm just saying. I might have gotten some grease popped on my neck, but not cooking.
So they were tripping because they were like, okay, do you have any explanation? And at first he tried, like I said, to offer the cooking stuff, and then, you know, second they're asking him more questions, and he just flat out just says, I don't have an answer, I don't know. And then his brother, when they're talking, they're still interrogating his brother down the way in the hallway, and he's like, yeah, you know, we share clothes and stuff like that, you know, he was just, you know, wearing my Adidas hat the other day. And then they're like, wait, your brother was wearing it? And they're like, yeah. And then they got the video on the laptop, and they were like, you know, your brother looks a lot like this guy right here. And his brother, they're like, who's this? And then his brother's like, well, that's Hector, you know. And they're like, oh, okay. So then they start to focus their attention on him. So they start taking pictures of the marks, and then they see that he has tattoos. And there's a thing that's going around, thanks to, you know, what's gone on political, that he might have been in one of these Venezuelan gangs, the Trinidad Ibarra, whatever the hell they're called. They have a
Trinidarium.
Yeah, something like that. Someone's gonna correct my pronunciation anyway. Yeah, but they're like, okay, you know, well, let's figure this out. Let's see what the you know, what they have to get a search warrant to investigate more. So they go in there, and they find a whole drawer full of those black latex gloves. Yeah, and then they're like, okay. So then other video is starting to come back at the same time. And as they go back and they rewind, starting, guys, at 5:30 in the morning, he's seen wearing a black hoodie and that Adidas hat, and he has a cup in his hand, and he's walking around that bus stop that I described earlier. Mm-hmm. Walking around that dorm room that I described, it's got several units. It's a huge apartment, right? And he's on camera just pacing the trail. And the detectives are like, this guy's on the hunt. Like this guy knows what he wants and knows what he's doing. So as they watch the video, he'll reappear, disappear. People will come and go, and he's kind of like out of place, so he hides. And then when the people get on the bus, he comes back. And there's an eerie part around 8 a.m. where he knocks on this girl's door, and he tries jiggling the door to try to get in because he peeked through the window to see that she was by herself. And she calls the police, and he goes around to the back of the unit and peeks in her back room too before going back into the forest. Now, what's not shown and what I don't know, because I watched a lot of the video, but on the video that I've seen, it does not show police showing up, so I can't verify. Supposedly they did, but it's not shown. And she did give a report of a suspicious man, but it didn't go any further than that. And you fast forward 45 minutes later, and Laken Riley's killed.
Dang, man. Dang.
So he was still, yeah, if they would have maybe investigated, but I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know if they did
no cops.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I don't even know if they did a perimeter search. You know what I'm saying? Like walking around or anything.
I doubt it.
Yeah, because I don't see.
I feel like that would be documented on at least some. You know, hey, we sent some police officers out there to do a perimeter search. Like, I'm pretty sure that all has to be documented by dispatch or something.
Yep. And the thing is, they found that same exact cup in the apartment, and the contents were alcohol.
That's not surprising.
So dude was on a good one, and while he's out there doing that stuff. So they search his social media. That's part of the what is it, the warrant? And they're able to see him taking selfies with that Adidas hat on, with the hoodie on, and like there's just he's taking selfies, dude, before he goes on the hunt, the night before and the morning of. And then on the doorbell ring camera from his next door neighbor on the other apartment unit, it shows him leaving in the exact same sweater that was found in the dumpster.
Moron, Matt?
Well, he ain't very smart.
No.
He's found 10:30 in the morning, putting the sweater back in the trash can. So so they're finding all kinds of. They found a thumbprint on Laken Riley's phone that matched his. They also Jose Ibarra's fingers. They also would find some of his DNA at the crime scene. They found it on her.
Wow.
It was all matching up. The blood matched on the sweater. The hairs were hers. I mean, what more do you want?
Dude, if I didn't know about this, it would have been checkmate at the black gloves in the drawer. Like, come on.
Welcome, Dano.
yeah, dude. So, they realized too the scratches on him were also from, Laken. So you have all that.
Oh.
It should be an open and shut case. So, who is this Jose Ibarra guy? Who is this character, right? So, Jose Ibarra, what's that, Matt?
A piece of trash.
Yeah. So we don't know too much of him other than the fact that he first crossed the border in 2022, and he got one of these controversial open border Biden-laced, hey, come to America and you get protected status. And he came over and he got asylum in New York first, and he was over there where he got married and had a child, and he was protected with a protected status over there in asylum. He wasn't doing any schooling, nothing like that. Him and his brothers got in trouble, armed robbery right away. He got arrested and released. He also in wake of the murder, he had his child, which was only 3 at the time, riding on his motorcycle in New York, in Manhattan, a very troubled or very heavily traveled street, with no helmets for either one of them.
Oh, heck no.
Which should have been a felony for child endangerment, but catch and release, right back on the streets.
Wow.
Does New York have helmet laws?
Yeah, that should have been a
Really?
felony.
Oh,
Should have
wow.
been a felony.
It should have
Because
been.
it should, like, for him, like, if they were actually enforcing the rules, and this is not just for migrants, but like, that should have been, you know, you losing your license, you know, just for yourself, and you know, for a child endangerment. I mean, that's a felony. Losing your license, a whole 9 yards, huge penalties, jail time.
Oh yeah.
Catch and release, bro. Catch and release.
That's crazy.
So
Sending us their best, aren't they?
Oh yeah.
yeah, and that's where this thing went. And the thing was, he's taking his child out not just for a leisurely drive either. He's doing deliveries.
Wow.
That's 3-year-old. Hey, you got to ride. I got some Uber to deliver, baby.
You gotta drop these food off, man.
He's like, Mama's working
On a motorbike?
on a motorbike.
That's
Crazy,
insane.
So you better hold on, kid.
Gotta hold on.
Wow.
For what? My hips.
Don't drop the Mickey D's either. While you're
I mean, my old man was a motocrosser, man, back in the day, and I remember, you know, from the ages of like 6 and up, being on the back of a motorcycle. Don't remember not having a helmet on though.
Yeah.
And I hated wearing helmets back in the day, man. Little ass me with a big old helmet. Hold on, kid, hold on.
Actually, I have to correct myself. He was 5 years old, so not 3 years old. He was
That's
5 years old.
crazy, dude.
Still.
So doing
put a kid on a bicycle without a helmet, like, come on, dude.
For real.
I guess that's how he got tips too, you know, like, hey, I'm taking my kid out, you know, might want to tip me a little extra.
I mean, that makes sense.
I guess. But this is what sparked a lot of this controversy, was because during the election you had people like, hey, don't call them immigrants, they're migrants, they're trying to better themselves, but you know, oh, well, people shouldn't flood the borders, you know, they should come in, do it the right way, they're called illegal for illegal, and it just turned people against people. So then, you know, both sides were trying to play not only Laken Riley's case, there was a couple other immigrants in different states that murdered other innocent people, and it turned into a big thing. And this was part of it. You know, this is one of the last ones that happened. So so with that being said, like, he was getting into trouble in New York. He left his wife there with a kid, and he moved with his brothers and I guess their friend or whatever. I don't know if she was a friend or family, but down to Georgia. So great guy right there, taking care of his lady. And so they moved down there. It's not said which or how their relationship was after that, but we would find out later that she would be trying to get him to confess while he was in jail, or on the jail time phone. They were trying to get him to confess, and he just wouldn't do it. Yeah. So here's the thing too. You know how they got down to Georgia?
They hitchhike on a train.
No.
No, they probably got bust down there.
No.
Really?
The government, they use the government tools. I mean, listen, in New York, migrants were given homes or apartments to live in and food, right?
Mm-hmm.
And especially in the shelters. And then they were like, nah, we don't like the food you're giving us. So New York was like, here's a $750 EBT card for the month. Buy whatever the hell you want.
Wow.
And so that was going on. There was also a thing called humanitarian flights. So if you had family or friends in another state and you needed a flight, well, here's your goddamn free voucher to fly whatever airline you want. We flew from New York to Georgia.
Well, I got family in other states.
Wow.
Can I get one of them vouchers?
Mm-mm.
Why?
We don't qualify.
Hey, no.
Why not? Why? What?
Yeah, we don't qualify. Sorry. So shortly after this, when they get down to Georgia, the great guy that he is, he was arrested right away for shoplifting at Walmart. So apparently, you know, all the freebies weren't fun, so you still want to steal.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't enough.
For real.
Jeez.
And once again in Georgia, they're like, "Nah, you're good guys. Just get out of here. You guys are too cool. Get out of here. You just don't do that again."
I wouldn't think it'd be like that in Georgia. Wow.
No, they let him go. They ain't let him go.
That's crazy.
Not even a citation. So,
Damn.
yeah.
What do they got like that same thing in California? I mean, I don't know if they still. I guess they kind of do where it's under 950.
They just changed that. Now,
Did they really?
Yeah, because now they're starting to arrest those people that come in there with the hammers and, smash and grab, try to steal stuff.
Good.
Now they're arresting them because I think it was Prop 36 passed. So,
I remember first starting security, long time ago, and I remember working the River Park Mall here in Fresno, and my first night, this guy stole over like $750 worth of like perfume and all this stuff from this place. And because it was under $900 some, they just let him go. They did it all. They documented everything, and they told him you couldn't come back here, but they just let him go. I'm like, you gotta be kidding.
Dang, just like that.
Just like that, dude.
Yeah, once I was at a Home Depot and this meth head came in there and jacked like 2 like cases of those, all in one, like 5-in-1 power tool sets.
Oh, yeah.
Ran out of the thing, and I'm like, "You're not going to chase them?" They're all like, "We get fired if we chase them." I'm like,
Oh, wow.
So he just waved. He's all, "Bye."
Man.
Come again.
BS. That is BS. You gotta be kidding me.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the United States.
Here we are.
We don't take care of our own, but we'll sure as hell take care of everyone else and butt into everyone else's problems.
That's Spock said. Y'all come back now here.
Exactly. Never mind, there's hurricanes all over the East Coast. Now, those people are okay, but we need to send $70 billion to Ukraine.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
You better shut up or you piss somebody off.
I know, man. Hey,
I'm sorry.
somebody gonna say like, "What do you know about that?"
I told you this was gonna go a little political. But I'm just saying. So,
this is not a political show, guys.
And I'm just gonna give numbers right here because a certain orange man got elected, and 58,000. And this is not even his calculations because we all know he likes to exaggerate. But even though he didn't exaggerate, it wasn't him this time. It was the actual FBI and other law enforcement saying that there is at least 58,000 violent, convicted murderers from different countries here illegally. That's just 58. That's not even counting the ones with other violent crimes. These are murders. So these are people walking right down the street next to you in a mall, standing next to you on a subway, in a freaking fast food. These people have murdered people.
Hey, but have a house on us.
These are the people that have outcast from other countries, and they're here. So that's why they're trying to
see
get
why they are.
It reminds me of what's that movie, Scarface?
Yeah.
When
outcasted by their own society because they got nothing to provide to society other than this bullcrap that they do.
Yeah, because
Worthless.
again, lost in the shuffle is just all the hardworking people that actually do their part to go through the system to get here and to benefit their families, benefit the country, pay taxes like every last one of us. But they get the bad rap because the color of their skin, because they're being put up towards these bad apples that are here.
Yeah.
So that's where this case went. So there's all kinds of laws now trying to be passed, not only with the deportations, but with Laken Riley's bill where you have to be properly vetted before you come into the country and things like that. And if you got violent crimes, you've committed crimes somewhere else, you're denied automatically, things like that. So it has started all kinds of stuff. And that bill passed just a month or two after Laken Riley's death. President Biden actually passed it.
I always thought that was the way you had to get in the country, be properly vetted and all that. Now,
no, it was wide open, bro. It was
crazy.
wide open. So this thing sparked huge debates in the news. It went from Kamala Harris's thing to, Orange Man Trump. He was saying, hey, you know what? You left the borders open. The blood's on your hands. And it was back and forth, right? And her father was coming out there like just distraught because he's like, her story needs to be told. The things need to change, but I don't like the fact that she's being used as a political pawn. And so it was tough for the entire family.
I agree.
Yeah. And so Jose Ibarra was due to stand trial in November 2024, where he faced charges of malice and felony murder, aggravated assault and battery for the brutality and the attack on false imprisonment, kidnapping, and forcing Laken Riley on the trail, and sexual assault. Also 10 counts of peeping, and what was the other evidence that was found that was suspicious and things like that. Beginning around 6:50 a.m. on that morning, like I talked about, he was first seen on the camera. He had gotten up around 5 actually in the morning on that Ring doorbell camera, and then was seen leaving to that area. So they had him on camera. We talked about all that stuff. The suspicious 911 call right there, for the suspicious character on campus. All kinds of stuff. I mean, like we talked about
footage of him from the whole damn morning.
Yeah, they had him pretty much step by step.
And the footage was all from that apartment, huh?
The apartment and the bus stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had dual cameras right there.
Good.
And they were able to, it had this feature too where it was able to zoom in. And so it picked up on a character and the camera would follow. So like,
oh okay.
So if
we have that feature.
The human detection feature.
It's pretty dope.
Yeah, it'll alert you if it's an animal, if it's a vehicle. Yeah. But it focused in on him and it kept like looking and panning and he was hiding. It was pretty freaky to watch that video because you're like, man, here's like an hour or two before he's gonna take a life. Like he could opt out right here and still be good. And
should be an interesting episode to put together visually for you.
Oh yeah, you have. Trust me, man. If you need the links, I got the video, man. So there's plenty of video on this one. So yeah, that's when they're all the way up until the fateful moment those two would meet. It shows everything. And right away, his defense counsel was like, "We're not going to get a fair trial here in Georgia." And the judge was like, "Well, where the hell are you going to get a fair trial? It's everywhere."
Yeah,
it's evident.
So Judge H. Patrick Haggard said, "Look, we're going to have to pick jurors. We're going to have to do this. We're going to have to do that." And with all the mounting evidence, he decides, which shocked everybody, because this was one of those cases that was going to go on court TV and do all this other stuff and be mainstream even more. He decided to have a bench trial, which there is no jury, which you're pretty much presenting the case to the judge and the judge only. So there's no juror of your peers. There's no chance for a mistrial. There's none of that. If the judge finds you guilty, you're guilty of sin. That's it.
Man, the judge better be going off the evidence presented.
Oh man, bro.
Yeah, there was.
Georgia had the death penalty?
Well, I'll get to that.
Okay.
But there is.
I gotta know.
There's some video when you put this one together, Randy, where the police officer that finds him or finds her. Very emotional stuff. The family was let out of the courtroom when they showed him finding the body in her state. They did not want the family to see her. So it's graphic video. There's very graphic testimony by the coroner, by first responders. Her family gives pretty, good testimony as far as her character, and then also, going after Ibarra, and then also trying not to make it, political. Also giving the reasons why they're upset and not taking it out on the race, but taking it out on the fact that he came the way he came and he never was going to come to this country to provide anything positive, So
when the officer found her body, was it like covered up or anything? Was it just like out in the open?
She was basically hastily. I'm glad you brought that up because that was a detail I forgot. Her body was just under a few leaves, but her legs were exposed. So the officer saw her legs first.
So he really didn't try to hide anything.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Maybe just. I mean, I don't know how long he's been here. Maybe he just doesn't understand how this country's set up. These days, we got cameras on every damn corner.
Not only that,
maybe he legit thought he was going to get away with it by just doing it and then throwing the crap away.
Right. It's like, well, let me throw these bloody gloves in some bushes that someday somebody's going to find, you know. Let me cover her up in some leaves, but leave her feet out. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like with these other, I mean, again, we don't know if he was, you know, he knew of the Venezuelan gang, but that Venezuelan gang, the reason why I brought them up too is the stuff that's going on in Colorado, New York. And what they're taught in Venezuela is they shoot at the cops. No questions asked. You know, they just shoot right back because the cops will shoot at them first even. You know, they play the game different down there. So like you guys are saying, there's not that need to cover up down there because there's not that much, you know, there's so much crime. They're not going to investigate one murder. You know, maybe that's what he was thinking. So with all that mounting evidence, guys, there was no way the judge Haggart was going to find him innocent. So he gave him life without parole. And the judge wanted to they changed it at first because they were going to give him the death penalty. But they changed it on a technicality in the Georgia state rules or laws. And he just decided to change his mind and went to just life without parole. And that's the end of that case. I mean, what do you think? Because I want you guys' honest opinions on this about, first off, how it went. I mean, it seemed cut and dry, but there were so many layers to it. Like, what are your thoughts about how it went down? Could it have been prevented? And what needs to happen in the future?
I mean, it definitely could have been prevented on a couple of occasions. Like Randy mentioned, number one, not putting blame on Lincoln at all. Not at all. But, you know, obviously, like Randy mentioned earlier, when you're in the woods like that and you're in, you know, deep in the woods like that, it's best to have a partner, no matter what ethnicity, no matter what gender you identify. You should be paired up because anything can happen. You can pass out and no one can find you, or, you know, you might
trip and fall and hurt yourself.
Exactly. So,
dude,
you know,
yeah,
you know, you should have paired up. You always be paired up. And then also too, that the phone call that the other that woman called earlier, saying that there was suspicious male peeping around.
Peeping Tom.
Yeah, a little peeping Tom. If the police officer did, they may not have done a great job in canvassing the area and, you know, having a perimeter search and seeing who this person may be.
Or at the most, at least get some campus security out there.
Exactly, something. Because you're on alert. You know, hey, there's people come. Okay, we're on alert. Let's see what we can do. Maybe having some security roaming around, more security being seen, might avert that person to be like, all right, let me abort mission. Because clearly he had a mission from 5 o'clock in the morning, because he's just pacing. It's evident. So, you know, definitely more security could have helped possibly prevent Lincoln from getting murdered.
Absolutely.
What do you guys
100% agree with Matt.
What do you guys think about the changes with everything? Because obviously this played into the political landscape of things.
I don't like how it gets political. Like, everything ain't politics. That's how I view life. Like, it doesn't always have to be politics. You know, unfortunately, you have some cases of bad people coming over here and doing bad things. You know, you like you said earlier, Todd, you do have some legit people who are, you know, from a different country that wants to come over here and change their life legitimately. And, you know, if they do that, I honestly don't have a problem with that. However, you know, one bad apple spoils the bunch. So I don't think it had anything to do with politics. It could have happened to anyone. That person could have been born here and killed Lincoln. You know, it was just a bad apple, really. So to put politics in here, everything doesn't need to be about politics. That's how I look at it. You know, it could have been anyone. It could have been a U.S. citizen that killed her. So,
I'll agree with Matt to a sense that not everything has to be political. Where we kind of drift apart is where we've been talking about our border and the bullcrap that's been coming across it since 2016, if we're going to be keeping it a buck. And Trump, and I'll say it, Trump, he said it then, and he'd been saying it for years. You know, we're not getting their best. We're getting the worst. If we don't close it, we're gonna pay severely. And here's one of those cases. And you talk about how we got 58,000 of these freaking weirdos, jackasses in this country. So while not everything has to be political, I think this does fall into the political lines that this showed that, hey, it's about damn time that we take care of our borders, and we do it now, and we do it fast. Otherwise, we're gonna keep dealing with this, because, like you said, we got 58,000 of them in our country, and if it doesn't get fixed now, we're gonna deal with more cases like this. So that's my thoughts.
And also, too, to piggyback off what you guys are saying, too, it not just goes to like murders and other people, too. It's the people bringing across up in Canada. They just got the biggest drug bust because they started tightening the restrictions in Canada, because they were letting them flow across there too. You were having people come from Saudi Arabia into Canada because Canada had open borders, and then we had open borders, and they're coming down here, and they're terror threats. And then there are also others that are either Canadian citizens or other people from other countries bringing in fentanyl. And fentanyl has
that's a big
killed
one.
A ton of people here in America.
Yeah. And
they just had the biggest drug bust of fentanyl coming through Canada just the other week when they tightened the restrictions. So, yeah, I mean, it's tough not to look at it political, and I wish it wasn't a thing like that. But this is a case I had to bring out there because, you know, it sparked so much controversy, whether you're on the left, the right, you're in the middle. It's definitely a talking point. I couldn't go very, you know, I have a lot of friends that are into true crime, so like they were just talking about this left and right. You know, and it is sad, you know, for the families, and whenever we talk about a homicide, you know, it sucks for the victims and the victim's family.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter if it's you know, someone that's I just heard a case the other day, 91-year-old stepfather, 91, killed his 46-year-old stepdaughter.
Wow.
Yeah, and they were thinking it was her boyfriend and everything else like this. So you never know. And these are citizens. These aren't
91.
91.
Future episode?
Possibly.
Wait for the details to come out.
No, actually, well, just finished
that.
It
just finished.
Because I was following it, and the thing is, in that case, he didn't make the trial. The trial was set to happen this month, and he died. He died in natural causes. So,
wow!
Because he was in jail for about a year, so he turned 92. So
that's like a 50-year-old gang member. Like, how you?
I'm sorry if I let a 91-year-old kill me, I deserve to die probably.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I got a 91-year-old coming at me, like it's gonna come at me like in slow motion, probably.
What?
Right. I ain't trying to make fun of the victim or anything like that, but I'm just trying to imagine how a 91-year-old person can kill you unless they ran you over with a car.
I'm saying
beat you to death with a cane and stuff. I don't know.
Well, do you remember, Matt? And okay, because she was stabbed and bludgeoned big time. So here's the thing, though. Do you remember the case of what is it, Golden State Killer?
Yeah.
Do you remember when he was in jail? He was like, when they first arrested him, he was in like a freaking wheelchair
and stuff like that. Yeah,
and he was acting like he was acting like
brittle.
Yeah, like he was knocking on heaven's door. It's like all of a sudden they go to his jail cell and he's doing jumping jacks, he's doing push-ups. It's like, what the hell? He's more active than I am.
Shit, never mind.
And so,
Grandpa.
Yeah, the 91-year-old was the same thing when they had him in prison.
You know.
He's doing push-ups. He's doing jumping jacks. He's doing sit-ups. He was in shape.
Wow. I couldn't even do that at 41.
Okay. All right.
Because the police were like, how the hell does a 91-year-old bring a hammer down on a woman's head with that force? But then they're like, this guy's playing possum. So.
All right. Golden State Killer number 2.
Yes.
I ain't never looking at old people. Oh, so cute, old person. Yeah, right. Probably dropped some fools back in the day. Probably yesterday.
Don't turn your back on me, Sonny. I got this hammer.
Remember Johnny Knoxville when he used to play the old man?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, bad grandpa, yeah.
There you go.
The balls hanging to the floor. That was the
Oh, stop it. No, you're sure.
Well, I will say this. This sucks for Lincoln. I mean, she seemed like a very positive young woman. Had a lot of upside to her. She was only 22, like you said. She seemed very, seemed like a good woman. Seemed like a good young woman. And for her to have her life taken away like that, tragically, it sucks, you know. But I will give her credit. She fought. And you can hear it in the video, in the audio, that she was fighting. And unfortunately, she just got overpowered. And that I can't get those sounds out of my head, dude.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, dude. Like, I didn't realize that was the rock hitting her skull. Like, dang.
And I gotta listen to that stuff all over again.
Yeah.
Oh, when you're doing the editing, yeah.
Yeah, man.
I you know what? At least it's not for naught. At least it won't go, you know, unnoticed in vain. At least something came of it, and possibly, you know, things in the future will probably come of it. It sucks, but you know, it sparked some change and probably some much needed change. And it sucks that it had to go that route. But God bless her and rest in peace.
Yeah.
The state laws that they enacted in Georgia haven't hit the United States all the way. The bills are in Congress to make it go nationwide, but right now those laws are in Georgia right now. They've been set in stone already. So
let's see if it goes through.
And I will say one last thing, guys, because this has been a good episode, but I will tell you, there are some really, really jacked up 911 calls on YouTube to where it blows this one out of the water. I mean, I'm telling you, as bad as it was, there's some that are just, it will break your freaking heart and give you nightmares at the same time. I do not recommend that. And my what was it called? Not gory ass, but what's it called? When you have that mindset, when you know you shouldn't, but you do anyway.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and I have that gory sense of like, I gotta find out, you know.
You know what? I'm in certain instances, I'm the same way. It's like you're curious, I guess. The curiosity's getting the best of you.
Yeah.
Like, I believe it or not, I do like when I get to the edge of things, like I'm freaking out and I'm scared of shit because I hate heights. But then I have to put myself over the edge and then I visualize just jumping off. It's weird. It's weird.
And you just reminded me, morbid curiosity.
Morbid curiosity. There it is. I got half of it. You got the other half. Good job. Morbid curiosity.
Work as a team, baby. Work as a team.
Yeah. There you go.
All right, Matt.
Well, thank you, Todd, for breaking down another episode for us. And thank you, Randy, for being here with us as a co-host.
Yes,
and
sir.
Thank you all for listening into another episode. Before we sign off, quick reminder, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Subscribe to our page, like our page, leave a comment on our page. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. And also listen to us on your podcast stream. If you're from outside the country, you know where to find us. If you're in the country, you know where to find us. With all that being said, this has been your host, Matt, along with our co-host,
Randy Oz
and Todd Fox.
Hell yeah.
And we are signing out. Hit it, Randy.
See you guys.
You've just watched the Grinding True Crime Podcast. Make sure to like and subscribe on your way out. Thank you all for the support. don't forget, stay safe, stay curious, and remember, the truth is always worth uncovering.